Today, me and Alex are at TeamSport Liverpool to do something very, very stupid.
Hi, I'm stupid.
You see, recently Liverpool got a brand new international track layout, and that combines the regular track and the combat cars track to create a massive twisting 750-meter circuit. And we thought it would be a great idea to challenge their regular members to some sprint races on a track that we'd never been at before.
Mate, I'm terrified.
Where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Yeah, this was going to be interesting, but let's head to the grid for the first race, and it's lights out, and away we go. A great start here. We send down the inside, but car 55 is going a bit slower. They're stuck around the outside, and they're already spinning on that first hairpin there. This section of the track was so tight and twisty, it was very much single file. If you were on the outside, that tended to be what happened. But we're managing to stick in 4th position here. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this track before, and I thought we were doing okay, but you could already see the guys in front were pulling away, which means the guys behind were definitely on my tail as we get to this hairpin before the ramp here. They already are sending down the inside. We get pushed right to the edge. We get a good exit speed so we don't lose too many positions there, but we now are down in 5th. So as we keep our head down, we now know there is another overtaking spot at the end of this straight here, so I'm looking over my shoulders, panicking that we're going to lose another position. I try and keep it tight. My tires are cold and I go slightly too wide. I go over a bump and they've got the inside line. Luckily, we managed to pull away okay, and we defend that corner there. It was really fun defending those first 2 hairpins there, but I've got to keep my eyes open here because they could send it down any of these hairpins at any point. Like I say, as much to hand, it's single file down here, and it goes yellow, and we get our first yellow of the session, so everyone starts to slow down. It goes back to green. You can see the guy in the front made a massive advantage under yellows, and we must have a train behind us, and here they are coming through now as we go to the side. There's 1, there's 2 positions we lost, and we're now stuck to the outside. One is down into 7th place here. We have to go around the outside, this slippy outside section of the track of the wood. We hit the wall, and there's another car on our back here. Now we're going to try and defend this corner, so I lunge it to the apex to try and claim it, but it means we get a bad exit, so they have the inside line going down to this corner here. Hopefully we can get around them. We just can't descend it through the defender corner. We're down now into 8th position. This was probably the worst start we could have had to try and learn in this new track. All we've got to do now is we've got to dial in, we've got to learn and understand this track and try our best to move back forward through the pack. On lap 3 now, we're still on the back of this kart 54 here, and we're trying our best, and they're already going defensive there, trying to hug the apexes, as we do have a slightly better exit speed than them. But we're trying to stick with them, but we've got cars all over our back there, and you can see it in the rear view shot there. And we're only on lap 4 of this 16 lap race. Let's skip what's going on a bit later on. So you can see the cars are trying to get around us here, taking down the inside, but we're able to defend this corner and close the gap in front a little bit. So as we're coming to the hairpin here, cars are trying to dive down the inside. We managed to claim up some time coming up this hairpin here. We're looking for the overtake, but they see us coming, so they defend the inside line. And all we have to do is, we know if we can stick to the bumper here, we potentially can overtake them on this final corner here. We try and take slightly wide to cut back through, but they keep that apex there. We try to squeeze through, but it just isn't enough room, meaning we get squeezed to barrier. There's someone on our right here that we have to defend us, so we lunge across the corner here, claiming that corner as ours. And this was a really fun track to try and hold that first few hairpins there. As we're pulling through this middle section here, they're still on our bumper there, and we don't want to lose another position in this race. We've already lost lows due to us not quite understanding this track yet. We were a little bit all over the place, but now I was starting to get a hang of it, and the speed 4 in these karts was absolutely electric. The way they pulled away was so fast, especially on this wood section here. You'll see us really pick up speed by the end of this straight here. As we're coming to this top section here, we're looking over our shoulder again, knowing that there's someone always trying to inside, and we try again, but luckily we don't tap them there, and they get a good exit speed out there. We close the gap a little bit on this corner here, get a good exit. We tried to go for the overtake, but it's just not quite there yet. The gap was open, and we're pushed to the side, and we get overtaken by the guy that was sat waiting behind behind us. We knew if we rolled dice for an overtake, potentially we might lose the position, and we did in this case here. So we're now down in 9th position now. A few laps later, we're trying to keep our position, but we've still got another driver that's trying to get past us here. As we're coming into this first section here, I lunge for the apex, closing the door so they don't go for an overtake. And we have to try and keep this position now, as we can't lose any more positions in this race. A few laps later, and I can see this race in front of us is slowly coming to us. The gap is closing up due to them battling. So hopefully, maybe we can claim back those positions we lost before due to them battling front. But remember, we do have a driver sat on our bumper right behind us, waiting to take advantage of any opportunity. Any mistake we do make, they will capitalize. So I do need to keep my head forward, concentrate on this battle in front. But then it's too late. I leave the door open as I try to get a good exit, but forget they're sat on my bumper. I'm trying to go down the inside, but I'm just not quite long enough so they're able to defend that corner there. And now we are down into 10th position. This first race on this brand new track was going absolutely appalling for me. There's no excuse to what was happening here. As we head into the final lap now, this was our final opportunity to try and make an overtake on kart 54, try and recover at least one position in this appalling race we had here. We can see we're all over the back of their bumper, and we had been now for a few laps at this point. They've gone full defensive mode. They're looking over the shoulders. They're claiming every apex, and we just need to try and find a way to get around them and get this overtake done. We got a decent exit on this corner here. You can see we're matching their speed as we're coming down this straight here. So hopefully the door will be open just to the right and we can make an overtake, but they go defensive, so I have to go wide, try and get a better exit. I go down the inside here as I know I've got the better exit. I'm alongside the cart here, but there just is not enough grip for us, and I send them flying into the barrier there. That was completely my fault, so I let them back through so they can have the position back. But little did I know that this was the final lap, and it was all about to end in tears. We head round the corners here, it goes checkered, and Josh manages to claim that position.
Fuck me. Sorry, I thought I had way more grip. I don't know what to do about the double left-hander, you know. Fun though.
Last race there did not go so great, but after talking to some of the members and getting some of their tips, hopefully we can use that now to try and gain some positions in this second one. We're starting down in 12th for this one, right at the back of the grid, so it can't be much worse, can it? Let's find out. First issue we're going to have is trying to actually see where the starting grid lights are. Because we're so far back and the lights are so low at Liverpool, you really had to lean your head to the side to see those starting grid lights. But you can see the sequence has started, the lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go here at TeamSport Liverpool for the second sprint race. We go down the inside, we actually make a position up there, but we're having to go around the outside, so we lose it back to 12, but gain it again by this hairpin here. We're now sat behind kart 37, and it's single file with Alex trying to make his way down the inside there on us, but we just managed to close that door there. We know we're going to have a little bit of a train behind us now, but it's free wide almost going into that corner there, so we're going to slowly gain on these guys, and as they tap the barrier there, that is another overtake we should be able to get done, but the cart caps out on speed and we just can't get around them. We go for the switchback, and there's a crash there on the right hand side which blocks up traffic behind, gives us a better exit, and we're now up into 10th position. So 2 positions already done on the first lap, and this guy goes slightly too wide there, which means we can gain a little bit of time on them there. They start tapping on the brake really early, really premature. Their tires must have been really cold. We managed to get a good exit down the inside there. We can follow them straight through this first hairpin here. We know we've got this bit down now, and we can keep the gap nice and close. As we're coming up here, you can see the front pack starting to pull away, so if there's going to be any more positions we gain, it's only going to be a few, and it's going to be these guys in front. You can see he's tapping the brakes everywhere, this guy. He's really struggling to get this cart rotated around the hairpins, which is good for us because it means hopefully if we can get better exits on the corner and not using our brakes as much, hopefully we will close down that gap. And he goes a little bit wide there. We get a good exit so we can follow them up here, and we're slowly drawing them in. You can see here I almost go for the overtake, but I thought it'd be better to stick to the bumper and wait to the end of this bit here. And we can go down the inside and hopefully lunge forward, but we're not quite far alongside, so I have to cut back here, try and get the overtake done, and we manage it just as we're able to switch back as they shoot it way too far past the apex. We're up into 9th position now, and there's a little bit of a battle going on in front of us, but the overtake is not quite done yet as they're fighting back, and we could really do with them and working together with us to try and catch up to this pack here. We've got a little bit of a train following behind us now, but we can get our head down, we can close the gap and catch up to the next pack. So the track goes yellow as our old friend here spins out, and the track actually decides to put us all onto speed 1. This means that we end up doing a safety karts restart. So this is something I've never had to do before in indoor karting, is a full safety karts restart. So we all start to bunch up, we all get back together, and this is our chance to make up a few more positions before the end of the race. So now we are all bunched back up. There's 11 laps to go. It goes back to green. We're racing again. Let's see if we can make some position. But there's someone already trying to dart down our inside. Hopefully capitalize on the chaos of the first laps here at the international track at Liverpool. You can see someone on our right side trying to send it down, and he just manages to get the overtake done. But I got a feeling this battle ain't done yet, because we can keep our car nosing on the inside there. And we've got JB Karting just in front, and we're actually 3 wide going into this corner here. Some absolute chaos at TeamSport Liverpool on the international track. JB Karting now off in front there, and then we've got Lewis down on the inside trying to go for an overtake, and he manages to make it stick. However, we've got that straight line speed coming out of that exit there, but he's got the inside line. I have to give him the room, and look at that. It's just much better for us to stick behind him and try and follow him. But I've got a feeling we can keep this position. We can keep fighting with Lewis here, and maybe we can start moving forward. So we're going back into lap 2, the restart now. We're trying to stay as close as we can to kart 51 here, staying on the bumper. They go slightly wide there, which opens the gap here for us to go down the inside, allowing us to switch back here, giving us the inside line for the next corner. Now we just need to make sure after this hairpin here we get across the track, we close the doors so they don't come back through, and we manage to keep that corner as our own. We get a good exit, we hit both apexes, go wide. He's right on our bumper though. You see the car is there just tapping us, pushing us along. I need to stay defensive. I go down the inside, defend that corner as much as can. They know they can switch back on us, they'll know they have a good exit, but we managed to keep our car just in front, which means I don't have to defend it, and I can take this line normally. JB is just in front now, and it doesn't look like we're catching that much, because we're stuck in this battle that's going to go on now for quite a few laps. They've got the inside line. I have to close it as much as I can. We've got the inside coming into here, but it gives us, being on the outside here, the inside line for this next corner, so I can send it across here, completely claim the corner as ours, keeping the inside for this next one here, dart across to the next hairpin, closing that off. And that is exactly how you want to defend at Liverpool on the international track. That was absolutely brilliant from us there. We managed to keep Lewis off our back there, and we're coming out this corner back out still in front, but Lewis is still there. He's still close. He's not quite on our bumper now, but he's still there looming in the background. So I know I need to get these corners right, and I get a snap of oversteer there, and I have to go a little bit defensive. A few laps later, we're now caught back up to JB with Lewis pushing us behind there. It's really helped trying to close that gap out in front. And as we come out of this exit here, I go slightly wide, tap the barrier, and you can see Lewis is on the right there. I have to apologize for the little tap, but Lewis is really there on our back. But just in front is now JB. We're catching up, we're making up places, and hopefully potentially we can get that position done by the end of the race. But Lewis really wants to get this overtake done. He's been trying now for laps. We've been swapping and switching, but we're gonna have to do our textbooks defending once again. Dart across there, keep the inside line, but he's further along than he was before, so I have to leave him the room a little bit, and he's going to be there slightly on our inside. We need to come across here, dart to the next hairpin, and this is not good for us to catch up to JB. As you can see, he's now started to pull away, and there is Lewis again on this final corner. Now on lap 12, he's fully alongside us. This is going to be very hard to defend, and I have to back out. There is no way I can send that car in without causing a crash, so I give Lewis the position there. I back out, but what an incredible battle from Lewis there, trying to get that overtake done, and fair play, it was fully deserved to claim that position. So many laps that went on for, but he finally managed to do it there, which sadly drops us down into 10th. You can see how much now they're pulling away. Only 2 laps to go. They start battling, which gives us an opportunity to try and make up a position here. We're on the back of JB, going down the inside. We're about to try and go 3 wide into this section of the track. I've got the inside line here. I know JB's got the outside. He tries to come back across. I have to give him the room, which gives us a little bit of a bad exit, but we're alongside here. He knows we're going to send it, but instead I try and do a little bit of a switchback, but we just tap the back of his car there, which doesn't make it possible. We're now in this fight with JB right to the end, sat on his bumper. Can we get past the guy? He's an extremely skilled karter, especially here at Liverpool. JB is a very long time member here, so we were going to have to really try and make something work here to get past him. As we're coming out here, we're sat on on his bumper. We're trying to get ready for the overtake at the end of the straight here, but he knows that's the move he will do. He knows he's going to go after defender. You can see he sits on the middle of the track, so we go wide, and I absolutely make a mess of that corner. You can see JB is just much further away now, not what we wanted. And with that, that is the end of race 2. Again, another 10th position, but at least we managed to make up 2 places, and it made an absolutely brilliant battle.
Defending's really fun.
The good battle.
Ain't it? I've not moved
So well as well.
That's the first time you ever said that to someone. They rate the international track. Don't know how to drive it, but it's fun.
Defend from me, so.
Our fight to get on that podium is still quite a way off, but 2 more races to go. Let's see if we can manage it. So as we head into race 3, maybe our podium plans might happen as we're starting in 3rd and for the first time on the outside of track. And it's lights out and away we go here for race number 3 at TeamSport Liverpool. We nearly get the overtake done into 2nd here, but car 31 sees it happening, sees the same gap I did, and goes round the outside here. Lots and lots of battling happening on this first lap here, but if we can stick with him, maybe we can hold this position here. But sadly, my camera dies, so 1 lap later, we did lose the position, but hopefully, with them lot battling off in front, hopefully we can catch up with them and we can keep this high finishing position. But as we're going around this first corner, you see me looking at my shoulder. It's because I've got someone sat on my bumper and they're wanting to claim this position. They've been sat behind me now for about 2 laps. They're wanting to get past me. They're feeling that podium, but hopefully we should be able to defend them here. So not quite alongside enough, but if we work together, we would be able to catch up these 3 in front. And you can see as lap by lap goes past, we are slowly catching those guys in front, and I can see the guys there sat behind me trying to get ready to do the overtake, but he's just not far along enough of us. So if we work together, we might be able to do it, but he goes to send it here, but it's just not worth it. If we work together, we would be able to catch these guys in front, and I know this, and I'm having to swerve to defend him, which is not ideal for when we've got these 3 guys in front. And this guy's looking all over my bumper, trying to see where he can send it, and I have to drive in such a defensive manner, which is not aiding our fight with the guys at the front. So as we go into lap 6 now, we're slowly closing in on the guys in front. As you can see, they actually start battling quite heavy, and I can see this race as I'm driving. I can feel it slowly coming towards me. Another few laps later, we're now on lap 8, and that gap's even closer. I can feel them slowly falling into my grasp, and hopefully we might be able to claim a position near to the end of the race. But for now, it's time to keep putting in those laps, make sure we're going faster than those guys in front, and we should be fine. And as we're going back into this first corner here on lap 10, you can see that gap is well and truly minimized. First places ran off with this, but 2nd and 3rd are battling their way, and it's the guys that we were fighting before, so hopefully we know how they drive, and potentially we can pick up a position right at the end of this race. We're heading down the straight. I'm still checking over my shoulder because I'm panicking that someone is there, and as we turn around here, you can see we've actually managed to build a gap between us and the car behind. And the reason I keep looking over my shoulder is to see how we're doing, so I can feel myself getting closer, but I can't tell if we're pulling away or if they're just falling back into us. And do you know what? It was a bit of a combination of both, because the guys from behind were really nowhere to be seen now, and these guys in front were really starting to close in on us. And we know if one of them goes for a move, if one of them makes a mistake, we need to make sure that we're there to capitalize. We need to get on the bumper of these carts in front and capitalize for when it all goes wrong for them. So we head into lap 15 now, and we're taking this hairpin here. You can see the gap is really closed in now. We need to get ready to set up for an overtake. With only 2 laps left of this race, it was going to be really hard to try and to get this position here. And as we come into this corner here, he goes for the overtake and he goes down the inside, but it just doesn't quite play out for him. The side-by-side going into the first corner, I see my opportunity. I go around the outside, which becomes the inside, and I get the overtake done. A full Oscar Piastri move on Lando Norris there at Monza. We managed to make it stick, but this time we're not teammates. We are against each other, and we managed to claim that 3rd position there. And with 1 lap to go, it was great news for me, but not so good for them. And with that, we crossed the line in 3rd, making up a little bit for the last 2 races.
Whew. Needed that. Okay, 3rd. Yeah, mate. Jesus Christ. Mate, I was in 4th the whole race defending, and they had a battle in front, and I just went past them. Do the same again.
So as we head into the final race, we're starting up in 4th on the grid. An absolutely brilliant place to be starting this race, but last time we started this high up, we ended in 10th. But hopefully now we've learned the track. We've had 3 races of practice to try and nail this track down.
That's so wide.
How you like it?
I'm just gonna go straight into them.
The joy of it. Look, it's TeamSport Liverpool.
This is
You have to
outrageous.
afford a new back.
Mate, you're not doing 3 bloody rows. You are aware there's a corner right there, and I'm just going straight into like a hairpin essentially now.
Yeah? You're gonna move central anyway.
Well, yeah, I am now. Outside is so much beneficial now.
Make it as unfair as possible.
What, for this side only?
You.
So as I sat there on the grid, knowing the track, knowing the corners, and knowing the drivers, it's lights out and away we go. We get an absolute brilliant start. We're already in the back of the third place here. We tap each other. Second place goes a little bit too deep, which opens up the door here for us to get the overtake done on third place. We're now up into third, and behind us there's lots of bumping going on as everyone tries to thread the needle through that tight, twisty section, which allows us to start pulling away and trying to catch up to kart 37 here. So now as I look over my shoulder, you can see there's a little bit of a gap forming, and it means we can catch up to our first and second place and hopefully keep this podium position. We come out here, second place goes slightly wide, we look over our shoulder and they've managed to catch up ever so slightly when they've come onto the grippy wood here, but it's now our job just to keep our head down, keep running fast laps, and hopefully not get held up by kart 37. So this battle between us and 37 goes on for quite a few laps. You can see we've been stuck to their bumper the whole time. If we catch up to lap 6 here, we've got a car on our bumper here because we're now getting held up by 37, so we really need to start making a move and getting around them here. We're sticking to them there, they're going defensive, which opens up the gap here, so we lunge down the inside, putting our car in front, we get into second, we get squeezed to the barrier, and it demonstrated they actually turn left into us there, knocking us into the wall. Absolutely disgraceful from them. I don't think they knew they did it though, as they were turning left to go into the corner. We get shown a no bumping sign. I'm pointing to the marshal saying it was them. As you can clearly see, they turned left into us there, but there's no point me whining. If the marshals saw it, they'll give a penalty. If they didn't, it's not going to make a difference. We need to get our head down, get back on the bumper of 37 and get this overtake done. Like I say, they're going defensive now. They know we're there. They know they have to close off that gap, because I'm just going to send it exactly like we did before. They tap on the brake there and we follow them through. I like to lift a bit more there, which sends us through a bit quicker. But as we're coming down into this top section here, they go rather deep into here, and I try and keep it tight to go through the gap, but the gap just is not there, so we have to back off, which means we get pushed into the car behind, so we have to really watch over our shoulder now. We've got Lewis, who is an absolutely rapid driver here at TeamSport Liverpool, veteran of the track, all over our bumper. We're just going to hope that 37 makes a little mistake and we can get around them there, or potentially a penalty coming their way after that incident earlier. Track does go yellow though, so we now start to bunch up and go back into a safety kart mode, and like I say, Lewis is there sat ready to take advantage of when it goes back to green. But as we come around this corner here, it does go back to green light conditions. I look over my shoulder, panicking Lewis is there. We got the good start on him, so it was all good, and you can see already coming into this tight twisted section, we're back on the bumper of 37. There's only 2 laps left of this race. If I'm going to make a move for second place, it needs to be soon. I need to make this move. I need to make that lunge, but in a clean and concise manner. As we're coming around here, the gap is nice and close, and they slightly slip coming out the exit there, which meant we can hold on to their bumper now. As we come up the ramp here, we get a good exit, but not you can see on camera, but Lewis is right on my bumper, so I have to move across to defend, which I moved back across last minute. Coming into this final lap here, we know they need to make a mistake if we're going to catch up to now, and they brake super early, which allows us to close up under brake, and we take this side to corner. We're alongside and they have to leave the room. We're going side by side into the first corner on the final lap. I dart for the apex, leaving just enough room for them to squeeze around them. We're going to stick to the inside line, dive right across so they don't push us to the barrier like they did last time, and we managed to make the overtake stick. As we come around the tight twisty section, I can feel them all over my bumper, and we get a good exit coming out of this corner, and as we cross the line, that is us claiming the position for second place that we've been fighting for that whole race. What a finish!
I didn't really do that well tonight. Fucking take that. Like, what are you gonna go for? Was it you that was in front of me? Fucking hell, man.
What a massive improvement we made from the start of this video. Me and Alex going into this had absolutely no clue what this track looked like and how to conquer it, and by the end we finished on the second step on the podium, taking home that trophy. Thank you very much for everyone that's watched this video, and thank you very much to all the staff and the members at Liverpool for making us feel welcome as always. If you did enjoy this video and want to see more karting content, subscribe and click on the video on the screen now.